Well, if you're just getting home and joining us now, here's a look at some of the top stories on CH News at 6 o'clock tonight. Starting with video just in of that raid at the Up in Smoke Marijuana Cafe. Now, witnesses standing outside the cafe say that 3 people have been taken into custody and some property is being confiscated. Shirley Engel is outside the cafe now, and we'll have more on that raid new at 11 o'clock tonight. The infamous Sandbar, known for drug deals and murders, will be shut down, at least for now. The Attorney General, Michael Bryant, visited Hamilton today to make a personal announcement saying he will do everything in his power to keep the doors shut for good. Hamilton Police Chief Brian Mullen calls it a victory for the city, years in the making.
Thanks, Steve. Less than 24 hours after being raided by police, the Up in Smoke Cafe was open for business. While pot activists marched outside, inside, clients were enjoying puffing on their favorite plant. The cafe's owner, Chris Goodwin, is still in police custody tonight, but others rallied around the store and kept it open, saying neither they nor Goodwin have done anything wrong.
When Chris Goodwin passes a joint to someone in this cafe, he's doing it as a political statement because of its harmless. He's saying this is a harmless plant. It should be an adult choice.
Meanwhile, one day after the province seized the Sandbar Tavern just down the street, officers are still standing guard outside a bar that's been described as a crack house of horrors. The building's owner says now the provincial seizure of the building will help her get rid of problem tenants. Shirley?
Good evening, Nick. Actually, it all began at Sandbar. It's just about a block behind me on King Street East. It's a notorious crack house that was boarded up and shut down today. But around the same time, police were descending here on the Up in Smoke Cafe. It's dark now, but hours ago it was the scene of a police investigation where several people were arrested and charged with possession of marijuana.
One officer a second ago said that the Up in Smoke Cafe should be next.
Chris Goodwin, owner of the Up in Smoke Cafe, foreshadows his own arrest. Less than 1 hour after speaking to CH News about the seizure of Sandbar, he and at least 2 others are taken into custody. Davin Christensen says he was among them, but was released 2 hours later.
We were at the cafe, we were passing a joint around, and an undercover officer came in and snatched the joint out of my hands and said that 3 of us were under arrest for simple possession of marijuana.
Police remain tight-lipped about what happened here. They won't even say how many were arrested.
Arrests were made and the investigation is ongoing at the time.
As Staff Sergeant Ray Rickage speaks with manager Stephanie Spicer inside the cafe, a rally of protesters gathers outside. Rumors of her arrest spread quickly on this cannabis culture website, flooded by a fury of postings. Many question the timing of the arrests.
As of today, this crack house of horrors is out of business.
They come just hours after Attorney General Michael Bryant announced the province has taken control of Sandbar, a haven for crack cocaine-related crimes over the years, including numerous stabbings and 2 murders. But Rickage says the arrests at Up in Smoke are a pure coincidence.
There is no connection to the Sandbar investigation that occurred today. This was totally a fluke.
The Marijuana Cafe has been embroiled in controversy since opening its doors in August of 2004. This King Street resident says even if the incidents aren't related, she's happy police are finally cracking down on drugs.
I'm glad they're cleaning up downtown. There's a few more places you should hit, but I'm glad they're cleaning it up. We need it.
But pot activists like Chris Lawson insist they're doing the community no harm.
Cannabis Compassion Society has strict regulations against anybody caught dealing or trying to deal is kicked out. So we're very, very strict on that. We're very serious about it being a medical compassion society and promoting medical marijuana.
Now, Davin Christensen says he was released on the condition that he appear in court on April 25th to answer charges of possession of marijuana. Now, the other conditions is that he doesn't come anywhere near the Up in Smoke Cafe or associate with anyone that works or volunteers here. The protesters I spoke to say Chris Goodwin is being held overnight. Police, of course, won't confirm that, but Nick, they say there could be more arrests in this case, and other people could also be charged with possession.
And in the meantime, Shirley, what's going to be happening to the cafe while those in charge are in custody?
Well, that's a good question. Not very clear right now. The owner obviously in custody and rumors of the manager also being in custody. There are a number of volunteers who work here, so they could come in and open up the shop. Police say they're not going to prevent it from being reopened tomorrow. Back to you.
All right, CH's Shirley Engel live tonight in downtown Hamilton. Thanks for that.
In Hamilton, it was a wild day in the old downtown core again today, but for all the wrong reasons. One day after police raids at the Up in Smoke Cafe and the provincial seizure of the notorious Sandbar on King Street East, both places were full of activity today. Here's CH's Randy Steele with more on that.
The protest, 500 people are coming down. It took a gentle prodding to quiet some protesters. Others hovered out front of the Up and Smoke Cafe.
I suppose it has, because no other medication works for it.
Inside, a day after its owner, Chris Goodwin, and others were charged with pot-related offenses, nothing has changed.
We're open business as usual. We don't intend on stopping. We're not going to be affronted by their attempts to suppress us. Not even illegal to have vapor, actually. Vapor's not against the law.
Chris Goodwin and others were pinched for their pot after passing a joint.
When Chris Goodwin passes a joint to someone in this cafe, he's doing it as a political statement because of its harmless. He's saying this is a harmless plant. It should be an adult choice.
Political statements were also made half a block away. Police stood guard at what is called Hamilton's Crack House of Horrors, the Sandbar Cafe, a day after the province seized it.
I'd like to see them actually clean up the area. I mean, Gore Park's been running by this building and the Sandbar for way too long.
From crack use to body bags, this place has seen it all. Its owner, downtown businesswoman Ruth Rickett, didn't want to comment on camera. She did tell us it has been frustrating and that it is hard to get rid of troublesome tenants. But after the provincial seizure of the place, that problem is solved. But the owners may not benefit from this situation. In just 10 days, there will be a court hearing, and the province could seize this property permanently. Rika says she owns the Sandbar in name only, and that her son Mike runs it. He phoned to say he wanted to make a statement, but didn't show for our meeting. For this place, to the relief of many, it isn't business as usual.